Hello and welcome to another edition of Get Outside St. Tammany. I'm your host, Davis Brister. This is, of course, a show dedicated to all things outdoors in St. Tammany Parish. And what better thing to do than actually go outdoors for this episode? We are at the beautiful Fontainebleau State Park where we will conduct this month's episode. And joining us now for this edition of Get Outside St. Tammany is Chris Davis, who's with the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Chris, welcome to the show first and foremost, and tell us a little bit about what you do for the department.
I'm a biologist, and I work the Scenic Rivers program. I'm the coordinator. I've been with the department about 10 years, and one of my jobs along with Scenic Rivers is looking at activities that impact Section 10 and Section 404, which is wetlands and waters of the U.S., what Corps of Engineers permits. So that's a couple of the duties that I have, which primarily is the Scenic Rivers is most of my work.
I ask stupid questions sometimes, Chris. The Scenic Rivers covers the whole state and you cover a certain jurisdiction. Is that what 10 and 14 are all about?
That's correct. We are statewide, the program. We have about 60 rivers we call main rivers. Then we have about 20 tributaries. It's a little bit different. We have the same jurisdiction as we would have a river, but it's a little bit smaller. And those tributaries are defined as tributaries to the Tchefuncte River. So it's a little bit smaller, but it still has the same regulations as other rivers would have.
Yeah. How many scenic rivers are there in St. Tammany Parish?
I believe there's about 8, like I said, main rivers, such as Bayou Lacombe, Bayou Cane, the Tchefuncte, the Bogafalaya. And like I said, with the tributaries to Tchefuncte, it's a little bit different. It's probably about 20 to 25. It's a little bit different in that it has to have a direct discharge to the Tchefuncte. So it's kind of a widespread system, and we have to probably evaluate each activity to determine if it is, that scenic tributary that we have jurisdiction over.
I got it. And what kind of activities on a scenic river would require a permit?
Such activities as a bulkhead, a camp, a residence, docks, piers, wharfs, bulkheads, riprap projects, anything of such nature that's on the river.
I would guess anything could change the course of the river, huh?
Yeah, we evaluate that too.
Yeah.
Especially the bulkhead projects.
What is the process of going about getting a permit?
Probably the first thing, if you have concerns about your property, you think you need a permit, is just to contact us. Don't fill out the application form. You can go to our website, it's under the Scenic Rivers program, and just call staff up and we'll look at your activity and see if it needs a permit. That'd be the first step. So we look at your activity, see if it's going to impact the river. If it needs a permit, you can start filling out an application form, and we'll work with you on that. You don't need a consultant to do the application. You can do the drawings yourself, and that'll be the second step. Okay, once you get an application submitted and it's completed and reviewed by staff, then it goes to the public notice process. You'd advertise once in the Advocate for 45 days, and then 3 times in the local paper, which would be the St. Tammany Farmer. Okay, so that's the process for a public notice. So it's on notice for 45 days, and once we come to the end of that, we get all the comments from the public or other comment agencies such as DEQ or State Land Department, and we look at those comments, we evaluate the project, and then we have 30 days to make a decision on the project. We can either grant a permit or deny it, or we can make changes to try to make it conform with the rules and regulations of the Scenic Rivers Act.
And tell me how the Scenic Rivers program can assist the public.
We can provide technical advice on property. I think one of the biggest concerns, of course, is erosion on your property. Usually somebody wants to build a new house or residence, and of course it's within 100 feet it might need a permit if it's a new activity. So we can look at it and say, well, you might need to back up your house or move it, because any kind of stream is constantly changing. It never stays the same. It might be 10, 20 years from now, but we see a bunch of projects where the stream, it meanders over and it gets too close to a property where they have to do, you know, bank line stabilization or a bulkhead, and we've seen a few houses and camps go into the river.
Wow.
So it's it can be a problem long term that you just don't see, you know, in the near future.
The work you do is very important, for no doubt.
It is. Like I said, and usually to combat erosion, everybody wants to do bulkhead, and there's, you know, you can do a riprap project where it's a lot cheaper and it's just as effective. You put your riprap in, and you can vegetate and plant it, so it looks a little bit nicer, and it'll serve the same purpose, you know, for a lot cheaper, you know, cost to the applicant.
Good information. Anything else you'd like to add about the program in general that the public should know?
No, like I said, if you go to our website, you can ask us any kind of questions. You just, you know, go to our little link that says Contact LDWF, and it goes right to our inbox. We can answer any kind of question. You know, provide that technical support. You know, any kind of concerns on your property. Do I need a permit or not? Like I said, if you're within 100 feet of the river, you're going to need a permit. Now, if you have like an existing feature, like a house, you want to rebuild it or maybe raise it, or maybe rebuilding the dock, that's usually going to be exempt with the program. It's be grandfathered in, so as long as you stay within the same footprint of your structure, it's probably not going to require a permit, but it's best to, you know, contact staff to get that determination.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Chris Davis. Thank you for coming on the show.